Welcome to the final installment of the classes of Lord of the Rings Online, at least until when they add a new one. Today we're working with the Warden class, which in my opinion is the absolute most advanced class in the game. I struggle with this one because of gambits, and we'll get more into that later. It can be mostly a defense, although it can be pretty darn good at offense too. And with Haldir, all I can think of is the Two Towers Battle of Helm's Deep, when Haldir gets it and you have Aragorn just running there going, Haldir! Haldir!
The Warden is a master of the spear and javelin, sworn to protect those that cannot protect themselves. At home, in the thick of melee, the Warden weaves powerful combinations of attacks to fell her foes and strengthen her own resolve against the Dark Lord.
Everybody say hello to Emerald, our Warden. Warden, in my opinion, is the most complicated class in Lord of the Rings Online. And it's because of gambits. And I'll talk more about those in a minute. So, let's just jump on into our class traits. Oops, that's the virtues. So you'll notice that, again, there's only 2 lines to spec into. The yellow line just adds value to the other 2 lines. So I'm in the group or / tank tab, so I'm going to go with blue line. And like most other trait trees, I'm going to just probably fill it all in. Again, your mileage may vary, and if you have a different idea about it, please let me know in the comments. So we have Warcry, Fist Gambit Damage. I'll talk about gambits in a little bit. Excuse me. And then we come over here to Persevere Gambit line, which is the healing line. Then we come down here with Defiant Challenge. On any common fire or shadow damage, reflect to 720 damage. 30-second cooldown duration. Yeah, I guess so. Then we have Careful Shield Work, +1 ranged and tactical damage reduction. As a tank, any mitigations are good. Coming down here, Redirect Ire. So this basically draws aggro. As a tank, that's a good thing. Excuse me. Then we have Critical Protection, which, again, critical hits can be pretty devastating in this game. Careful Blade Work, also a damage reduction. Unassailable, Shield Gambit buff duration. And yeah, those are good. Then we have Undeniable Challenge. Again, a threat increase. Stand Your Ground adds to block, evade, and parry. Practiced Fundamentals, buff duration. Yeah, good all around. I can't say it. Indefatigable Yeah, whatever it is. So again, shield line healing. Lasting hope, heal over time pulses. Good thing to have when you're a tank. Never surrender. Minus 5-minute cooldown. I think that might be the self-res. And fear no darkness, morale tap damage and healing. Good thing to have. Then for the free people, very good damage mitigations for both the player and the fellowship. And fellowship protector, minus 5% incoming damage. And that gives us all these: thrill of battle, shield mastery, close call, shield tactics, proactive defense, exaltation of battle, and desperate combat. Alright, so now we come over here, and I'm just going to kind of bypass the red line, head straight for the yellow line since that gives me more bang for the buck. So, yellow line can also buff ranged damage. I don't tend to do a lot of ranged damage, so I'm going to kind of come over to here. Some light type damage. There's a fair amount of light damage in Warden. Plus 4% ratings from buffs from shield gambits, and marked targets, marked target duration. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put 5 points into that one. Comes down here. So we have endurance training, bullseye, and I'm going to, criticals, not so important for a tank. Finesse, also not hugely important for a tank. Finesse just gets you through their mitigations. And diminished targets. I'm probably going to go with diminished targets. Actually, no, I'm going to go with endurance training. Alright, coming on down here for throwing arm. Again, I don't do a whole lot of javelin work, so I'm going to come over to this one. Battering strikes, debuff potency. And we have Gambit Builder, Mastery, Cool. Oh, Gambits. Okay, this is a good one to have. And then Enduring Assailment. Enduring Assailment. Boy, words are hard today. And I'm probably going to put 3 more points into that. Comes down to here. We have Javelin Resistance Penetration or Suppression. I'll go 5 points into Suppression. And that gives me that's all the points I have. So I'll have about 16 more points once I hit level 130 to spend. Alright, so that is tank mode. Let's apply that. And let's go into DPS mode. Alright. Excuse me. Alright, so again, I usually just fill in the whole tree. Close combat, we're doing a lot of melee damage, some light damage as well. Bleed damage, a lot of bleeds. Tempered spear tips. Plus bleed damage, yep. Physical mastery rating, great. Gets me through their physical mitigations. Melee mitts. Way of the spear. We'll be doing a lot of spear stuff, so yep. Light type damage, also a good one. Fair amount of light skills. or light damage. And as I'm going into DPS, I will be needing to do some self-heals. So a morale tap, damage, and healing, you bet. Again, another incoming healing. Aggravating wounds. So up to plus 10 damage over time crit chance. Pretty good. If I didn't have enough points to fill out the line, I would probably hold on for that one. Deep wounds. Again, a lot of DOTs. Warden's Triumph. Yeah, it's been a while since I played Warden because it's so complicated. If I remember right, the adroit maneuver is worth putting some points into. Great DOT pulses, and your Spear Gambit bleeds deal burst damage when they expire. That's a good one. And then we come over here, Recklessness. Take more damage or more of a chance of taking damage for more increased outgoing damage. 24-second duration, minute and a half cooldown. And well-practiced motions allow you to quickly execute gambits with hardly any conscious thought. Using skill from battle memory will restore a small amount of power. Okay, so then again, for more bang for my buck, I'm coming over here. I've said that I've never really used a lot of javelin skills. I'm going to see how it works. So I'm just going to put some more things into ranged attacks. And I think come down here for more attack duration, critical, plus 1% ranged critical damage. Finesse is always good. And diminished target return, I'm actually going to go with Finesse, because being able to get through some armor and mitigations is always good. Javelin skills max range, great. And Gambit Builder Mastery cooldown. Yeah, gotta have that. Then Javelin Resistance Penetration and Outgoing Damage debuff. I'm going to go with this one. And that gives me 1 point to backfill into... Oh. For whatever reason, I can't. Alright, whatever. Okay, actually, let's see. Yeah. I don't know why it's not letting me do anything else. Alright. So then, going to race traits, Hobbit stuff, Guile and Conviction bonus, Hobbit club damage, Hobbit stature. Not so important for a Warden because a Warden is agility based. Hobbit silence, return to, I can never say it right, Michael Delving, I believe it is, but I'm not sure. Hobbit resilience, Hobbit stealth, and throw stone, a very good low-level ranged attack, good for pulling. Alright, so I have slotted Hobbit stature, Hobbit silence, Guile and Conviction bonus, Hobbit club damage bonus, and Hobbit stealth. Going into the virtue traits. Again, for defensive things, I tend to go defensive. Compassion, honor, idealism. I went with this one because incoming healing rating, I do a lot of self-heals on Warden. Innocence and tolerance. And for Solo and DPS. Again, I tend to go attack oriented. Confidence. Determination, got to get that agility going. Innocence, that's one good defensive one. Valor, and wit. Now you'll notice a lot of these are like 42 out of 53, and then some of them are 4 out of 53. When they revamped the virtue skills, or the virtue way you do it, depending upon how many points you had into a certain virtue, it ported over to this one. So the more things that you had virtues into in the old way, like honor, became higher when you came over to this style. And then things you didn't have a lot of, like I didn't have a lot of zeal, or I had some zeal, didn't have a lot of valor, and I had to open up wit. I just did that yesterday. So that's how I do it with the solo. Alright, now this is where I try to explain how virtues work. This thing over here, it's your gambit line. They have different builders. This is a spear, or it's the javelin or spear line. This starts off, if this is your first one, it's going to do melee damage. This is shield line. If you start with this one, it's going to do either defense or healing over time. Now there's a little bit of healing over time in the other ones, but majority here. And this is Warden's taunt. And I gotta be honest, it's been a while, so I don't remember what it does. You'd think I would have studied up before I made the video, but no. I like to do things real and off the cuff. And it is so complicated that I actually have a cheat sheet that I've printed out, and I will do my best to link it in the comments. So if I start with a spear and a spear, it gives me Death Strike. So I can click that, or actually I have it there. So if I go shield, that gives me shield or defensive strike. If I go my brain turned off. Taunt, or excuse me, cry, it gets me goad. So here I'm going to do one of the longer ones. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 1, 3, 1. And that gives me the Dark Before Dawn. Or I can go, I like defensive because that's just me. If I go 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, it gives me Conviction. And this is my main heal that I go to. So there are a gajillion different combinations. I don't know what happened to them up on my skill bars up here, but there are ways that you can things that will go like 2 of one thing, like a shield. You push it, you don't have to push 1 twice or 2 twice, and you can, there's like 5 of them, 6 of them, and they help you build the gambits faster. I don't know why I don't have them on my bar. Alright, so that's for solo DPS. If I go and click over to defense, then I am pretty much going to run in the shield line. So let's see if it's the same thing. Shield, 3, 2, 3, 2, and that gives me again Conviction, just does a little more healing, and then 4 to use it up. But if you notice, welcome back, my friend. So 2, whoops, I didn't use it. There you go. So if I go 2, 3, that gives me a finisher. If I come back to 2, it gives me a different finisher. If I do 3 again, oh, get up here, gives me a different finisher. And then let's try 1, see if that happens. I don't think it does. Yeah, that doesn't give me anything different. So that's kind of how gambits work. And if you have any hints or tips on how to run a Warden, please leave them in the comments. I made it to 106 soloing, but I only used the same couple of gambits over and over and over again. It confuses me so much. That's all for this one. Thank you so much for being here and supporting me. Any questions, comments, please leave them in the comment section. I will gladly look at them and read them, take them to heart. And as always, thank you for being here and supporting me, and be well.